And here we go. All right, microphone check, microphone check. All right, comment section podcast, episode 1, February 15th, 2021, quarantine, not quarantine radio. Hello, all the people that's joining. I see 2 people right now. Do something amazing. I'll try. Shout out John. Let's do the shout outs back to the Origins. Shout out Nigeria for one starters. Let's see where we can get past that. Shout out New York. Shout out to BX. I don't care if you from another borough. I'm from the Bronx. I don't care. Shout out PS111. Let's trace the origins. Feel me? People who get that. Shout out OLPH. Shout out Chicago. Feel me? I got some people out there. Let's pass it on. Let's pass it on. Yo, shout out Hume 2 family. Let's get that out the way. Shout out UA. Shout out, my service members, and I think that's caught up to my history so far. All right, this is the first episode of the comment section podcast. I don't have a backdrop. You guys are welcome to share my room and my space. I will be having my bro. He is active service member in the United States National Guard, Army National Guard. He is also a great entrepreneur. He's been doing music and making beats for the majority of his life. The music I have playing in the background right now is produced by Dave Boogie himself. And I am getting ready to start an interview with him. We're going to talk about a few topics ranging from his music, ranging from topics of training and, being in the military together. A few things about politics, a few things about, what's going on, economics. Oh, yeah, he's very much into stocks. This guy is a hustler, a go-getter, and one of the funniest people I know, honestly. All right, so let's see if he can get up in here, and let's join it up. Let's see about this. Boom. Yo.
What's good, bro?
Yo, how you doing, bro?
Chilling, bro. How are you?
Shit, I'm fine right now. I'm chilling right here. I'm in the crib. I got some of your tunes playing in the background, so don't mind me. This song really bumped. This NASA song by Andy Ash or Andy MH.
Yeah, Andy MH. Yeah.
Got you. All right. So how you been, my guy?
I've been chilling, busy lately. You know what I'm saying? I really got time to chill.
Introduce the people to who you are, because I gave you probably a piss poor intro on the way in. So just go.
Nah, you did a pretty good job. I like music all my life.
Mm-hmm.
If you really know me, that's all I'm about. Like you said, I'm into stocks and I'm in the military, so basically cover all of it.
All right, let's get into it. Yo, how long have you been doing music?
I've been playing music since I was 3. It started off when I was playing the drums. I taught myself how to play the drums since I was 3.
I see you be playing drums for the church and everything. You don't miss a Sunday.
Not a Sunday. I play on Saturdays.
Oh, it's my fault. The Sabbath, the true Sabbath. You don't miss anything. I see you.
Yes, I've been doing that majority of my life, and then 4 or 5 years ago, I just started making beats.
All right. What brought you into beats?
A lot of things. I wanted to expand my knowledge in music. I wanted to earn a living off of music. Just want to expand music because I knew drumming was not the only thing.
All right. I like it. I respect it. And now, when it comes to making beats and everything like that, how's the hustle for that? You make money out of it? How's dealing with other rappers and artists? Like, what's the creative process going by?
It's a hard process. It's a hard game because I'm going to tell you like this. Basically, being a music producer is like being a drug dealer in the real world. That's the best example I could come up with, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody going to come with you with the same need and shit, so you got to make sure you can accommodate everybody for what they need and shit. And I say for market-wise, if you don't know what you're doing market-wise, you're going to have a hard time because You gotta know who you're making the beat for, who you're trying to reach
Mm-hmm.
out to, and what's your audience and stuff. So music marketing, they go hand in hand in today's world.
No, how long does it take? Like if I pull up to you as an artist and I'm just like, yo, I got some bars. Do you prefer artists pulling up with like the bars he already has, or just you listening to whatever you want to give him after hearing some music that he's put out? Give him a nice little beat, give him a nice little song. You know, him coming back with a lyric, or you want it the other way around with the artist pulling up with his lyrics. You just picking up on that, being like, this is the beat I got for that. You collab, mesh out, and boom, set it out. Which one do you prefer?
Personally, bro, I like both. I'll tell you why. If an artist come with me with his own sound already and he wants something of that, I accept that. Cause why? That's his sound. It's established, and that's my job to work around him. Now, if he wants me to create a certain sound and shit, then I gotta do more work because I gotta find a sound that's appealing to him. So,
All right. Respect it, respect it. All right. All right. So, what was the last or latest song that you put out with an artist?
um, to my knowledge right now, since I have sent a lot of beats a couple of years back in the day, so most of them is still hitting me up to this day. Like the other day, I got a artist who about to drop an EP, and she
Mm-hmm.
used one of my dancehall beats. I'm waiting for her to drop that. Probably she's gonna drop that in the soon. But my latest song right now is from my bro, King. It's Redemption. That's the
Mm-hmm.
latest one. I'm just trying to drop some more in the
All right.
process.
Respect it. All right. So, moving on from music, we're going to touch back in that a little bit. All right. Stocks. I can't tell a day that goes by where I don't get on my Facebook and see something about Dave putting up something about Tesla, get into this, Dogecoin. I think he posted something earlier today like this man Elon trying to make Dogecoin his own. All right, walk me into just being a novice in stocks. Just pretend like I don't know anything about stocks. I don't got a portfolio. I don't know what apps to use. What would you suggest somebody do to get into stocks in our early age?
All right, so somebody around our age who usually wants to do investing, you want to do investing for two things. You want to invest for long term or
Mm-hmm.
short term. So
What's the difference?
short term is quick money, and quick money get in, quick get out. Long term is like, yo, I'm working right now and I'm putting my money, and it's when I retire, it's gonna be there for me. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So usually I'm both, and I say I do both because um, it's good to learn everything you could learn and apply to other concepts. So if you want to do short term trading, just know you're gonna have a greater risk losing your money because you're trying to get in and get out. Versus long term, you keep building your money, so you keep building like building a house basically type shit.
So is that all right? Let's say short term. Would that be like penny stocks, day trading, stuff like that?
Yeah, so there's different types of day trading. So
Mm-hmm.
normally what we call ourselves, like a person like myself, is a retail investor. So
Retail investor.
I'll
All
go through
right.
the stocks. It's like window shopping. I'll go through the stocks. Oh, I like this, I like that. I'll do research and I buy more and stuff. Now, for you to become higher than a retail investor, you gotta have like more bread and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it gets complicated down the line. So it's for me, a retail investor. Say I got like $200, right? And there's only a couple stocks that I could put my money on. I could get whole shares or fraction shares.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, fucking Apple, just for example, Apple is $150 off rip, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking uh, McDonald's $50. That's $200 right there. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do is predict if the market goes up and down. The market is like geometry. When I say geometry, because it has patterns. Everything has patterns. Once you find the
Chasing
pattern,
patterns. All right. Keeping it simple.
you know what I'm saying? So what investors do, they study the market structure and see what the market's going to do, and that's how they could predict, oh, this is going to happen. So that's why niggas was saying going crazy for AMC and GameStop and all that other stuff.
Walk me through that GameStop setup because what I can take from that whole GameStop and AMC setup was that you know people gamble on the market. All right. And what people don't really realize is there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of money to be lost in the market. It's volatility and versatility of the market makes it something that people can actually benefit and lose from. So with the whole GameStop and AMC thing, I got that Wall Street Bets was a subreddit located on Reddit of a bunch of investors like yourself, like me, retail investors, you know, the average day Joe, and they saw that there was an attempt to short the AMC and GameStop stocks because nobody really buys any video games from GameStop anymore. I get most of my games off of digital. I'm lucky to have this PS5 that I got off retail. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. I've been gaming for a good minute. I'm not gonna hold you. But yeah, I don't really use the disc. Like I got like maybe 1-2 discs hanging around. Like I got my first disc from like the PS4, which is the Black Ops 3 disc right here. But GameStop is going out of business. I mean, because they haven't revolutionized their game. As GameStop, if you would look at it, it's kind of like Blockbuster from back in the day. Remember how Blockbuster
Yeah,
yeah, it used to sell
that's
like,
a good example.
yeah, DVDs and
So
CDs and stuff like that.
usually for situation like this, you got to look at it as a technical and the market aspect. So usually, the reason why GameStop and AMC was going out of business because nobody was going to them. So they had probably a lot of shit and storage or whatever. And these companies, the other big companies, was like, yo, we need something for them. So let's buy these niggas out, whatever, or take something from them. And that's why everybody started making a hype for AMC and GameStop. Because think about it. A couple weeks ago, AMC and GameStop was all time high and shit. Now, if you go back right now, that shit dropped. It's not even going back up there. Because those big companies got what they needed and got the fuck out.
Then he got the fuck out.
Perfect example, Elon. The nigga threw man money into Bitcoin.
Yep.
Took that shit out. Him and his brother. Him and his brother. I don't know what his brother doing and shit, that shit too, but Elon Musk, that's the nigga you gotta watch. He trying to make Dogecoin his own currency.
Baby Yanni said revolution of technology, and I believe that is facts. We
That's
live in an
true
age of
facts.
technology where you can make the bag and you can blow the bag all in the same hand. It's a swipe of a coin, movement of cryptocurrencies, investments, just having that information. And I feel like people in the black community, we didn't grow up with that information. So we see this hype, we see this draw to get into stocks, to get into financing, to get either to become a forex trader or something like that. We see this like, you know, ambition to get into it because we weren't given this information early on. I wasn't really having too many conversations about stocks and the market and shorting and putting and anything like that when I was growing up or when I was in, you know, high school or whatever. It's information that we had to walk into. And I feel like there should be a share of this information. We should all take our time to really sit down and try to figure out what we want to get out of a market, out of getting into our own personal portfolios. Like we got to stop looking at the stock market and getting into stocks and just like, damn, I don't really have it like that. I can't buy a $800 stock. Like you can buy a portion of that stock for
Not
five
only that,
dollars and make your $5 work for you. Like
not even
I like
that,
to
bro.
spend a
You
what?
don't
What
even
you
have
got?
to buy the whole stock. You could buy a penny stock
Mm-hmm.
because this is where I started learning stuff. So recently, most cheap stocks like penny stocks have been going up and stuff because, for instance, if I have 100 shares of a stock that's like 50 cent, right? Imagine
Mm-hmm.
when it hits $1, times that by like 1,000. You see the return. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So yeah, in a sense, you won't get so much money from the big stock, but it's how much you put into those stocks. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And another thing you were saying about the market and stuff. A lot of things. I'm struggling right
Nah, you good,
now.
you good.
One thing I'll try to encourage my friends and my peoples to do, start doing to like invest in currency. I had a lot of friends coming up to me asking questions like, "Yo, what should I invest in?" I told them, "Hey, invest in Bitcoin, invest in Lithium,
Mm-hmm.
Dogecoin, because you know why? Build your cryptocurrency because it's gonna come a time where everything's gonna be one currency. Look at it right now. I'm about to put you on.
What you
People
got for
and
me?
People in Venezuela right now is buying
Mhm.
pizza with cryptocurrency.
People have been using Bitcoin and Ethereum classics at different places around the
Yeah,
world. I know.
especially Europe. Europe is
hmm
one big place, and the United
It's
States is
easier.
trying to
It's
do that.
easier to do it in Europe because like a lot of those countries survive on the euro, so it's like there's open borders in European countries. The EU keeps things like that because they just want to make Europe a one big conglomerate, even though it's
The
comprised of
U.S. dollar
different
is not going
cultures
to
and
be the
nations.
same anymore.
What you got to say about that? The U.S. dollar has a cryptocurrency.
The
Not a
value
lot of people
the
know about
value has
that.
gone down, bro. A perfect
No.
example. Listen, remember when we was younger, bro? You go to the supermarket with $20. Look what that $20 bought you compared to now.
I remember going to the supermarket with about, not even supermarket. I remember going to the deli, the bodegas, going to see the op with $1, and I was big balling out there,
You
man. I
see,
got
even better.
the 25-cent barrel juice. Feel me? I got one of those. I got maybe like two Wise chips, 25 cents. That's 75 cents right there. Feel me?
And the
And for the
25
last
cent.
25 cents, I got like maybe 5 Jolly Ranchers, tiny little cubes, shake them up, hard ass candies, bite into that shit, break your teeth off. And I walked out that bitch with the brown bag, got the bevs. I got the bevs, got the chips, got the candy. I'm out here balling. Like, you couldn't give me $5 and tell me I wasn't rich back when I was a
That's
kid.
what I'm saying, bro. You see what I'm saying now? The value of that shit gone down now.
Mm-hmm. The inflation of it all has gone down, and has gone up. And every year there's going to be inflation. Every year the dollar inflates. It has to catch up with the modern times. Just like the same dollar that you would get to back in our childhood would probably be seen as like $10 back in our grandmother's and grandfather's childhood. Feel me? It's just as we progress further and as our economy grows, we have to compensate for the inflation and for the rise of the dollar. It's not necessarily that the dollar is slowly depreciating, but it's just that we are slowly gaining a better economic standing and we're just building a stronger and bigger economy. But with that being said, cryptocurrencies are important because not only do you have the inflation affecting the cryptocurrencies as well, because Bitcoin, like, who is one Bitcoin worth 50 grand? Are you like, imagine that, like, just balling off 10 Bitcoins. Like, if I have imaginary coin, like a completely cyber digital coin, and that's balling off of 50,000 US dollars, it's crazy. And the one thing that we learned about the AMC and the GameStop thing was that, okay, major corporations like hedge funds in Wall Street, they make their bank, they make their money betting on the market, right? So when they
Hmm.
decided that they was like, okay, GameStop right there, you're not going to be growing in, you're not going to be growing in any market value. So I'm going to put a short on GameStop. And what I mean by that is that I expect this stock to go from here to go right here. Feel me? And by the time that stock goes down and hits that mark, I get paid off of that bet that I put on it because I expected it to get to this point. What people in Wall Street bets and the subreddit saw that the huge hedge funds and the major big time investors were all doing that all on the same page, which is technically illegal, but that's how people make their money in this country, feel me? They decided that they were just gonna buy up the stock. And now I don't want people to get caught up in the idea of like, oh yeah, we need to just, we need to just do that, buy up stocks and just no. The main point about the story about Wall Street bets versus like the major hedge funds and everything in Wall Street is that it's the community and it's the communication and it's just the unity of it all. If black people, I was on the JBP, I was watching the JBP podcast the other day, and he brought in some investment guy, and he was just like, imagine if Wall Street bets was comprised of just black people, just black investors. Imagine the money that we can make on the market just for the black community. If we all decided like, yo, I remember H&M did some bullshit where they put the little black kid and they had him with the shirt on talking about I'm the monkey in this jungle, da
Oh
da.
yeah, I remember
Hey,
that nigga. She went
yeah.
down.
If we had all been like, about 100,000 black investors being like, yo, we short in this H&M stock right there. We gonna get money out of our displeasement to a company or to an organization. Like if you get one over on us, we gonna make sure as a unified front that we gonna get paid off your ass. Feel me? And that's the brilliant part about this whole Wall Street bets thing, because just by those people telling other people in the subreddit just to, like, hey, buy up the AMC stock, buy up the GameStop stock, and just hold it, because we're gonna try to make money out of it. Because as the stock went up instead of going down, the people who put the shorts on it, the people who put the puts that it was going to go down, they were losing money in the millions. And that's the thing that tossed the whole entire market up rise. That we saw the CEO of the Nasdaq trading company, Nasdaq, like that's big time. That's S&P. That's S&P 500. That's Dow Jones and stuff like those are all the major conglomerates that we always see headlining the market. If one of these organizations and companies do bad, which is
It's
the
over.
conglomerate of a majority of companies around the globe, that's the market right there. So
It's
imagine the
over.
CEO of NASDAQ pulling up on MSNBC and talking about we need regulation to protect the market. I'm like, excuse me? Like, your ass has not been regulating this market for the past 20, 30, 40 years,
You know what's
making
funny, bro?
money. Huh?
That's what you call capitalism at its finest right there.
That is definitely capitalism at
Capitalism
its
at its
finest
finest
right
right
there.
there, bro. You can't get mad for what niggas is trying to do back to you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna call it market manipulation, but it's capitalism. It's supposed to be free money for everybody. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Like, I think that's the main thing. That's the scary thing for them, is just like there's enough information. People are not stupid. Like, sure, we get caught up in our day to day and we don't have too much disposable income. I wish I had like an extra 1,000, 3,000 just to be shipping into a market every other week, every other day. Feel me? We don't move in the big, 6 figures, 8 figures every day, but with the little, 2 figures, 3 figures that we can do, managing a month and stuff like that, we can actually make a change between our numbers and our communication. And that's the main thing about it. It's like we need to start starting little small groups within our communities, within our friend groups. I have a friend group right now that we're supposed to be starting, putting money into a whole investment group and moving forward to buy real estate and everything like that. I've actually been behind on my payments, but I'm gonna surprise them when I get my tax return and be like, yo, I ain't forget about y'all. I just had my school stuff to worry about and everything like that. But we need to make more of those like type of efforts to pool our resources together, because it's never just been one man, one person is powerful enough to stir up the market and stir certain change. We're in Black History Month right now. We're looking at great Black history leaders like MLK. We're looking at great Black history leaders like Malcolm X. We got the Judas and Messiah movie that I haven't even watched out yet, but I
Oh,
can
bro,
pretty
you
much
gotta
tell.
watch that, bro. It's
Hey
fire.
man, I've seen the high praise off the Judas and Messiah movie. I'm gonna check it out on HBO Max. I'm really kind of tight about HBO Max because I had DC Universe and I had VRV, and they took everything from DC off those both apps and made my subscription practically useless. And I was so pissed because I haven't even picked up HBO. I haven't watched Wonder Woman, but I'm getting a little bit off topic here. But
Hey, that's how these companies just making their money back. No movies, no AMC,
mm-hmm.
streaming shit. Think about it.
Hey man, I'm gonna feel like an old man. I'm gonna feel like an old head. I'm gonna feel like a grandpa. I don't care what they say. The second everything is over, I'm taking my ass back to a theater because I just like the feeling. Like, I grew up
That's
going
what
to
I'm
theaters.
saying.
Like, you can't just tell me I gotta sit in my house and watch a brand new movie.
I
That's
need
too
surround
comfortable.
sound,
Like,
son.
like
I need to hear some gunshots or something.
I can't watch a new Justice League movie on my Roku. Like, I need. That thing needs to be echoing. I need to
Facts,
see like
you
Superman
know
like
how
50
you know.
feet.
Facts, you know how you watching Transformers. He had Optimus
Mm-hmm.
Prime. Nigga make you want to get up in the movie and fuck up the other niggas and shit. That's how it really was.
Hey, let one of them little Roombas start crawling up next to me and be like, hey, that's a Decepticon. Man, get your ass out of here. I'll roll out with the Autobots and everything, man. But that's the main thing. We need to start pulling our resources together and tackling things. We need to start looking at, like, okay, we had great leaders in our past as communities, as a people, but we can start by having that community again, having that fellowship with one another. Because if we're stronger together, we are more powerful together, we have more money together, we can do things as a unit in the collective front. It's like the same thing as like looking at a school of fish and looking at one fish, you know what I mean? A predator, a shark is always gonna get that one fish. You know what I mean? He gonna tire himself out. He gonna swim one way. You're gonna be looking at him. Swim the other way. You're gonna be looking at him. But a school of fish, even though it's a larger target, feel me? There's still individual pieces that they can mesh and move in a different way. You ever see a shark try to get a school of fish? He can't do it. Like they be like, "Yo, weave, everybody over here." It's like a dance hall party when they be like, just pick up something, anything, and just move to the left and then move to the right. Like
It
that's
is
how it
already got
is.
some of the fish swimming with the shark too.
Hey, but that's really what happened with the Wall Street bets thing, where it was just like, yo, they held the stocks and they try to make a lot of some people made some money out of that thing. I'm not gonna hold you. Some like I watched the report. Somebody made like about 60 mil off the
But a
AMC
9 year
GameStop.
old, a fucking 9 year old could have made $1 million off that shit. I probably
Mm-hmm.
think he did. I gotta read those articles again, but
But yeah, his mother had bought him some GameStop stock, and he came up big. She bought him like the GameStop stock back like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and he just had it. And then that thing went all the way up out of it quickly. Sell that,
as
like
you
I don't
should.
even care. But I'm waiting for the next Wall Street bets call. I'm waiting for the next GameStop call. I'm waiting for that. Like, hey, I got the money for y'all for me. You can't regulate us all. And what the
And I don't. I'll say that's not a good thing and bad thing because if too much people is on one wave, then you're gonna have to fucking compensate for that. And the way how AMC and GameStop was able to shut up so that because they bought market volume, they market cap went up to I forgot something billion to 100 something million something. I gotta look up the numbers again. It's because they got the funds for that shit. So when you another thing in the market too, if you're looking to buy stocks, look at the market cap salary. See if there's enough to circulate and shit.
market cap solid? Man, I need to write some of this down. Hold on. Bring my
Don't worry,
notebook.
bro. I'm about to put you on. So me and a couple of my friends, we get in together. We're trying to form this group, like on some Discord shit or whatever. It's in the process, so we can help people trade and teach them and stuff. Because this is simple information and stuff. And I've been studying stocks for like 6, 7 months, and I know so much. I didn't even have to pay for a class.
Mm-hmm. I got a few of my mans in a few classes. They try to share some information. You know how those classes be. Some of them like ask you, hey, pay like $75. Some of them ask you to pay like 1,000 something. So we just pull the information together and we try to make the best
That's what I do
decisions.
too.
Hey, but I'm all about working together because the more the merrier, the more money to be made, the more knowledge to be passed around. I feel like people need to be acting and moving accordingly when it comes to stocks and stuff like this because what is there to lose? Like, I'm not
Nigga,
out
you
here.
working from home.
That's a fact. Like, you see how comfortable I am, son. Like, hey, I got the laptop here, TV here, monitor here, got everything set up, and I'm comfortable. Like, some of us are completely fine during quarantine. When it comes time for me to go out, I go out with a mask. But I'm not rubbing elbows with y'all. I'm not trying to get coughed on. You ain't giving me none of that. I'm not worried about my life when it comes to COVID, but I ain't trying to get sick either. Like, hey, how long do you think this quarantine is gonna last? Like, how long do you think this COVID stuff is gonna last? Outside of the
I,
market copy.
I don't know. That's a good question. You gotta pay attention to Biden and see what he does. That's all I gotta say.
Now,
Biden up to some shit, and
speak.
and America is really about to get capitalist. If you think America was being capitalist, this is going to be changed. Because look who he has in office, and look what's their purpose, and you find out what the fuck is going to happen in the next 4 years.
America has always been a capitalist society and it runs on capitalism. As much as people say that it is the democracy, it is a capitalist state. It is ran on business. America is a corporation. People need to read into exactly what it says on their U.S. birth certificate and stuff like that. You are all pawns and products and potential investing points for this market. That's why the U.S. does so well. It's not necessarily that it has always been a democracy and that your vote does not matter. It plays a certain part, but America is a much more complex system and country behind all of it all. Like to say that the idea of this capitalist system running on the industrial military complex on top of a institutionalized slavery complex, it goes deeper than what we see on the news and what we get on TV and all the time. That's why this past election, I can't tell you how pissed off I was. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, it wasn't because I like, this guy left and that guy came in. I'm just like, why we, especially as a black community, as a black culture, we're getting so caught up in this election, and we're looking at this like, yo, it's really gonna change things in our blocks, in our hoods, in our neighborhoods. Like, hey, I done seen Bush, Obama, I done seen Trump, now I'm seeing Biden. The hood still look a little bit the same. Traffic light changed a little bit, maybe. They got a little bit of a light upgrade. The bus stop looked maybe a little bit better, but I'm still seeing the same buildings. I'm still seeing the same stories. It's a lot of the stuff that we used to laugh and kid and joke about. People having kids early, people being inside certain gang beef and stuff like that. We used to joke about that stuff because we saw it happen all around us and everything like that. But now that we're getting older and we're actually seeing like, oh, that person has a kid, this person out here doing this, and people just trying to make it out. We're really noticing there's a lot not changing in our
It's a
hoods, in our
trend.
communities.
It's just a
It's
trend.
very much a trap. It's very much a trap. And to like, the thing that was pissing me off about the whole election period and everything that was leading up to that was just that, why are we believing that this person leaving and this person coming in is going to make anything different? We got to make the change for ourselves. We can't be looking at the figurehead. It's like complaining about a car and all we're doing is changing the ornament. Like, if I want a car or if I want a Cadillac to run like a Jaguar, right? I'm not going to scrap off the little Cadillac symbol and take that old Jaguar leaping out, put it on top and be like, that's a Jaguar right there, feel me?
Who you fooling?
Because it's not fooling anybody. It's like we're changing the figurehead, we're changing the hood ornament on a very messed up, dilapidated car that hasn't been running or working for us since its dawn in creation. And you have a community that actually helped build the car, so we actually know what it's comprised of and know its infrastructure and everything. So we can't be falling for the hype. Like, I'm really like, if I talk about politics to somebody, I can sound like an anarchist. Or I can sound like somebody who really just wants to tear down the entire system, because I don't see the two-party system working for us like everybody else sees it. Because
I think a lot of people share your idea, but they just don't want to announce it because of the fact that they're going to get judged and stuff. Like, I could happily say, gangster, I did not vote this election because I was not, my first time voting 8 years ago, I was 18. I had Trump and Hillary. What the fuck I'm going to do again? It's like you said, I had Biden and Trump. I'm not voting again. I want to see what y'all going to do, because, you know what I'm saying?
When you really study the system and the election process in this country, you realize that the game is rigged. And what I mean by rigged is not like they don't really have to change the votes. They don't have to alter the numbers and everything like that, because it's not rigged in that way. It'll be hard to rig it like that. It's easily rigged by giving you choices that you have to choose from, that they control the choices that you get. If at the end of the day, all you have to do is make two choices, all I have to do as a figure that controls it, as the corporations, as the conglomerates, as the people with men in black suits that you want to call them, whatever you want, the people with money, the people who really own and run this country, that work from the shadows, all they have to do is control the two people that you get, and you'll make the choice for them. Like, if I gotta be like, hey, choose between an apple and an orange, and you be like, damn, I guess I'll pick the apple. I guess I'll pick the orange. You don't even know that there's other fruit.
You still gonna get the same shit. You still gonna get juice.
Yeah, it's a false sense of direction. It's a false sense of choosing. You don't have a choice in this matter. If you are always looking at the election process as like, damn, I really don't want to pick either person, and I only have these two choices, then something is wrong with the democracy and something's wrong with the election process as we know it. It's just that simple. It's like, people don't realize this, like, when it comes to this politics and this election talk, like, it really pissed me off, like, maybe like 3, 4, 5 months, like, coming into the election, leading up to it, watching these two white old men argue and bicker at each other on national television, and people ate it up. On one side, you'd be like, yeah, go Biden. On the other side, be like, yeah, go Trump. And I'd be like, damn, ain't shit changing. Like, I had to really look at like a few people. Like I know my brother thinks the same way. Feel me? I know a few other people, educated black men, educated black women, feel the same way about certain things. But like when you're talking to the older generation about like, hey, you don't realize this is all rigged, and it's like kicking them out of their matrix. Like they don't understand that. They don't see the same because I don't blame them because it's all they've known and it's all they've been shown and available to. But we come from a generation that grew up with technology. We come from, I say, we're a smarter generation. My generation is a little bit smarter than my mom's generation and my grandfather's generation. We're a little bit smarter. Yeah, sure, we're foolish. We do dumb shit. Like, not gonna hold you. We have our own ways, but we were raised with a certain level of information. We were raised with a certain level of like, we grew with technology. We grew with all this advances to our own personal and lives and experiences. Like with the rise of social media, with us being able to do this right now, this has not been seen before. We can actually go in and instead of having to go to a library, go to some random location, we can actually go and actually just search up information about our past, about history, learn from things, get the real story, get real experiences, and we can actually move forward from that. But I don't think that past generations had that luxury. They haven't had that luxury like we have had it. So we're able to peer through the veil and see the world as it is a lot better. And we're able to do it at a faster rate. It didn't take us 30, 40 years to be like, hey, there's something really wrong with the society that we live in. Like we came fresh out of like high school, be like, yo, what's some bullshit? Like they didn't teach me how to do my taxes. They didn't teach me about property. They didn't teach me about stocks.
Bro, you know what's so funny? I literally told my girl this the other day. It's still to this day, I have not used the fucking Pythagorean theorem. Not once, bro. Not fucking once.
Oh, yo, I can't even tell you what x equals ym plus b. Like, bro, outside of like the architects who we need, outside of like the doctors and the engineers who we need, the majority of us don't really need that information. Like, we're not operating from a system where we can actually send people in to a school, learn general education, and then work on their strengths. We're trying to do this cookie cutter, one size fits all, and we're just sending people out into a world where it's either you go to college or you just get a job right after high school.
And along
the way, you go to college, huh?
And then along the way, you're finding yourself when you're supposed to find yourself.
It's that, and then it goes even deeper because it's like you get to college, you're trying to figure out, what you want to do in your life. Nothing's too like broad unless you've been catered a certain way, unless somebody has been showing you a certain way. It sucks being a first generation college student. It sucks even being a second generation college student. If your family hasn't been used to the system and doing it for years, gain some connects, gain some ways around the system. You're doing this and you're navigating uncharted waters. And then as you're doing that, you're racking up debt. I'm not gonna hold you. You want to live in that nice little cool place on campus? It's gonna cost you. You want that book, that class, that tuition? You want to eat? It's gonna cost you. Hey, you don't even gotta pay for it right now. We're gonna give you some free money, all right? Get you through it, and once you get out, we gonna give you the bill. How that sound? Feel me? We're gonna put a nice little interest rate on that, huh?
And keep charging you to the day you die.
They gonna keep charging you to the day you die. With student loans being as high as they are, with everything being as high as they are, that's how they get you.
Hold up, bro. You know what's crazy too? What the fuck you gonna come on the job and they ask for like 10 years experience? Bro, I just graduated college. Like, come on, son.
See, what they don't tell you is like the real source in employment. Beyond that degree is your ability to network. It's who you know. It's not what you know. If my dad is a CEO, me and my friends have jobs. Feel me? Point blank, period. I don't care what degree you have. I don't care what you guys say. If you don't have a way in and you ain't getting in, son, it's really, that's how the world works. Like, it's a lot of people getting out of college. A lot of my peers getting out of college right now, and they got some degrees in some fields that they really didn't do much research in, and they trying to get some jobs, especially in this market. If you can't get a job in this market right now, feel me? Don't blame yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself. But look at it this way. What happens when stuff like this continues in the future? Do you really have job security? So the people that are working right now, they got some job security. The essential workers, they got some job security. I ain't seen an electrician looking at himself like, man, how am I gonna feed my family? I ain't see the construction workers looking at myself like, how am I gonna feed my family? Because they got a trade. They got a way to get paid. They got a way to pay the bills. They got a way to produce and move forward and be adaptable. I believe that, in this country, we made a mistake taking away the trades, taking away the hard-earned labor, the skilled work with our hands, and sacrificing that just to get a pipeline into colleges, to get degrees, to beg for jobs from corporations and businesses. It doesn't work like that.
Facts, bro. That's another thing too. I be having a lot of these talks with my girl, and you saying most of the things she was saying, and it's all back to this American dream. What is the American dream? It's all lies and bullshit, bro. You know damn well when you come to this country, you gotta work for every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing is free. The freedom, that's just nothing is free. This price will be paid every time. You don't know it.
See, I think like people understand. I think immigrants understand that most. Feel me? And I might be biased, being an immigrant or a child of an immigrant myself. But it's like we came to this country with the mentality of like we're bottom level, but we gotta climb our way into something successful. We gotta climb our way into something comfortable. Feel me? And I think a lot of people don't really understand that. It's like they come into this country, or they're already born into this country, and they allow themselves to get comfortable, to get complacent, to stay stagnant, to not look at this, to get depressed or to get discouraged from the lifestyle that they live, and just to stay in the same place. Feel me? It's like I have this conversation with a few of my bros from time to time when it comes to why is black men, and people of color, when we get into the street life, when we get into the gang life and everything like that, we don't have that mentality of like we in it to get out. Feel me? Like there's no OG hustlers out here, or the OGs that we see that's still in the hood. Y'all should be looking at them like failures, honestly. Because there's no reason why you an OG. You've been in the game 20 whatever years. You made access to like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Moving weight, doing whatever, and you still in the hood. Like they gotta be some cutoffs to understanding that we can do whatever we gotta do. Not blaming you. I'm all of the volition where it's like I don't blame the player. I hate the game. Feel me? I don't hate the player anymore. Feel me? Because you gotta play your part. You gotta play your role. But understand that once you play your role, you can change your environment. There's no reason why you should sit down, hustle, make close to $1 million or over $1 million, and you ain't have nothing invested. You ain't have no property. All you got to show for it is a few fancy cars and nice chains, and you telling your youngins to go out there and get themselves killed. It's like I've never agreed with that. And the problem is you raising another generation that doesn't have a positive role model to look to. And they try to, get it out these movies that's all set up, feel me? Because you try to watch Scarface, hey, yo, he made it like, oh, he died. Can't do that. Or you try to watch Power and be like, yo, J.J. Patrick, he was almost, he got killed by his own son. Like, they make it seem like, yeah, you can't make it out, feel me? They make the trap seem all too real because the trap is real. But there's a realness, there's a sense, there's a reality, there's a realization in that where you understand that you gotta hustle to make it out. The goal is always to make it out, feel me, and make better, feel me. You can't start off if you end off the same place where if you end with the same place you started, you ain't make no progress. You ain't make no progress. I shouldn't as I get older, feel me, because my mom's moved out to Long Island and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit detached from like the hood and everything like that nowadays. But I still visit, do my things and everything like that. And I see people out in the suburbs talking about, yo, this is the trenches, this is this. I'm like, I ain't no shit about the trenches. Like this ain't no trenches. Y'all got yards. Y'all got deer. Like, the fuck are you trapping for? Like, it's like life ain't too hard out here. Like I'll tell you that right now. But
did you even fill up a job application yet?
Yeah, you know what? Wait, what?
I was saying, did you fill out a job application before you went to go trapping?
People don't try that. People don't like, and I can't blame them. Like, we can't look at this like mentality with like an elitist mentality when it comes to being critical of our own brothers and sisters in our community. Feel me? Because it's just like I had this conversation with my mother like way back because I applauded her. I was just like, hey, mom, like you came to this country. You started off where you started off. We are where we are now, all for your efforts, all for your hard work, feel me? And I never disrespect you. I never, like, do anything about that because I'm grateful and proud of what you did, feel me? Because not too many people would did it. And she's like, yeah, but, that's just what you have to do. That's what you have to do when you get to this country. And I'm just like, I used to make fun of my mom when she used to talk and she used to say things. I used to be like, yo, mom, you're kind of like a Republican the way you talk, you know what I mean? Not to bring too much politics into it, but she used to be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're talking about ownership. You're talking about gaining something for yourself. You're talking about being less government reliant. You're talking about just, being distant or keeping your, standard Christian rights and religions and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, you can say that. And I said, you sound like a Republican because even though you came from like, where a lot of people like the black community, we align ourselves with Democratic parties because we believe certain things, we believe certain hypes. I'm not even gonna get into that topic just now, feel me? But we don't have that sense of like making it our ownership, feel me? Getting our own. And when I was talking to her about that, I was just like, the reason why you differed from that is because you had a role model. You had somebody to show you how to like hustle, how to get into this business world, how to get into like making stuff making stuff for yourself, making your money work for you, owning stuff. And she's like, yeah, my grandfather, her father, he was a businessman. He grew into like the idea of like, making a strong, nice, big company, getting to real estate, owning stuff. And she watched that firsthand being the firstborn. And I was just like, you can't look at people in our community because they didn't have that role model. A lot of people don't have that role model, feel me? A lot of people in our community, they're born into something, they see what's going on, and they just fall right in soup, feel me? It's the same analogy as like, the monkey, the room full of monkeys. Like, I know it's black people, I'm not going to use like the monkey, but don't make that connection, feel me?
Example, sheep.
Yeah, sheep. Yeah, a room full of monkeys, and there's a banana in the middle of the room, feel me? And if the first monkey go off for the banana, he gets shocked and he falls off. He can't get the banana. And then the second monkey goes up for the banana, and the whole room of monkeys get shocked. Feel me? And then he gets off the banana, and the third monkey tries to go up for the banana. The whole room gets shocked again. The fourth monkey, when he tries to go up, he's gonna get beaten up by the other monkeys. Feel me? Because they're gonna straight like, hey, we're not trying to get shocked anymore. Feel me? Until you get to a point in that cycle where you filter out the one monkey at a time, and there's a new cycle of monkeys, and they all have the mentality of, we can't touch that banana, so don't you dare even try it. We haven't experienced the shock ourselves, feel me? But since you are new here, you're gonna follow this lead, and this lead is gonna tell you to be stagnant, sit here, be complacent, and don't move. And that's a thing that we're struggling with in our community right now when it comes to progression, when it comes to ownership, when it comes to making things work for ourselves. I feel like we need to take more risks. I feel like we need to have more role models. That's why when I look back at a lot of songs like, J. Cole and stuff like that, when he has like the song No Role Models and stuff like that, like stuff hits deeper now when you come to a certain understanding, feel me? Like, it's hard to find good, positive black role models. It's hard to see a lot of, black kids that don't have moms, don't have pops out here, and give them somebody to look at. Give them somebody to be like, I can be like that. I can make myself like that. Like mentorship, programs like that, having a big brother, just somebody looking out with a positive outlook on life, that could go a long way to changing a lot of lives. I feel like if I didn't have the certain role models, if I didn't have the certain people in my life back in the day, I'd have been doing some dumb, ignorant shit right now. I'm not gonna hold you.
That's me too.
On top of just, you could have a Caribbean parent, you could have an African parent, you could have an immigrant parent, whatever, and you'll still fall into the trap. Real talk. It's not hard. One day you decide not to come home to do work and be out in the street. One day turn to 2 days, 2 days turn to 3. Now you out there 5 days a week. It's really not hard, but it's like there's ways out, but we need to do better as a community when it comes to the knowledge that we gain, when it comes to the way that we treat each other, how we respond and correlate to each other. One second. That's why I like the idea
I like the overall idea of talking to each other with respect, conversing with each other, saying kings, brother, sisters. Like, on top of like, the classic ebonics of calling each other niggas and shit like that, feel me? But when we change that, and when we change these words that have power and these words that have meaning, when we talk to each other and we talk with respect and with reverence to one another, we create positive images of self and what we see, which is still self. Like if I'm looking at my brothers and sisters, I'm still seeing me. And it's just that simple. Feel me? We stop seeing each other as brothers. We stop seeing each other as sisters. We stop seeing each other as family. So we're not treating each other as family. Feel me? Like it's different if I'm walking down the street and my uncle try to come rob me. I'm like, yo, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm gonna tell grandma like, your ass is gonna be in trouble, son. We gonna handle it within the family, but it's just that mentality. Feel me? If I'm robbing a random stranger, I don't have that family mentality when I'm looking at them. Feel me?
You
So I
know,
feel like,
bro, I like to add on to it. Like just to add on what you're saying too. Role models. There's a saying that says it takes a village to raise a kid. And if people just go back to that concept and just pitch in to help raise one kid or just do that, it would be a better community. Because personally, from my experience, and I know other people could relate to this, you had other moms too, but you didn't call them moms. They was like your aunts and other stuff. When you do certain stuff, they tell you, or they'd be like, "Oh, I'll tell your mom and stuff," or they punish you right there.
shit, I get right in check real
Man,
quick.
people go back to that, then it'd be better because that would show respect and give back certain standards so that we lost. Because now talk to a 13-year-old or somebody around that age, look at you, disrespect that you want to smack the shit out of them. Sometimes I wouldn't deck the shit out of my brother sometimes just the way he be talking to my mom. It's like, nigga, you lucky. I would have been dead long gone.
It's really that, and I agree with that. And as I get older, I start looking back into my past of those people that were being those models, being those figures in my life. You know what I mean? I look back and I'm kind of embarrassed at that, like the level of naivety, or just the level of just ignorance I carried myself with. Overlooking, overlooking what they were trying to do. Feel me? Because at that point in their life, they understood the bigger picture. Feel me? Like shout out PS111 because I had I don't even think he was one of my teachers, but he just made it his business. Feel me? To invest in the students. Feel me? His name was Mr. De La Rosa. I don't know where he's at right now. Hope he's in good health. Feel me? But he was always preaching to us, like preaching to a bunch of little black, little Latino, little whatever kids in this neighborhood. And he was just always preaching to us, like, yo, we got to do this together. You gotta operate like this. You gotta move like with some respect and with reverence as like gentlemen and gentlewomen and stuff like that. And we just always be like, yo, Mr. Delos, you be chatting too much, like, why you always going off and on? But it's like we need more people like that, especially in our education system, because the amount of time you spend in school can really shape you as a person.
You know what the problem is, bro? Problem is today's generation, niggas sugarcoat shit. Don't sugarcoat shit. Tell it how it is. Tell it straight up, bro. If you sugarcoat shit, you just create more problems. People get killed for that. If you just truth, yeah, so what is it hurts. It's called hard love. That hard love will make you a better person.
See, I feel like we got too politically correct. Nobody wants to get to the touchy subjects. Nobody wants to really tell it like it is. Everybody's scared of saving face, scared about losing money off of this. So how I'm gonna feel if I actually speak my mind? We went from growing up in like the attitude era, feel me, where people said the wildest stuff on TV. So we all saw it, feel me. People said the wild, imagine not going to school, sitting back watching Maury, Jerry Springer, sitting back, then going to see some adult comedy on some kid cartoon TV shows. I get things had to be PC, but it's really no point in sugarcoating how the world is and how things are perceived. It's really no point in doing that. We need to actually raise a strong generation that is ready to embrace and tackle and actually fix a lot of these issues in the world. It's like this old saying that goes, a strong king makes a weak prince. A weak king makes a strong prince. It's just that simple. It's like if you have peace, you're gonna raise yours in peace. You know what I mean? And he or she's not gonna be ready for war. If you have war, you're gonna raise yours in war. And they're gonna be ready for that. But it's just when we look at our community, when we look at our people, it's just I think we fall in this false sense of like peace.
There's no peace. There was never no peace.
But like it hasn't been any peace. Feel me? I think we've been getting comfortable. As like time's been going on, we've distanced ourselves from like major events in this country, like civil rights movements, Tuskegee experiment, stuff like that, COINTELPRO. Even like within the movie The Black Messiah, Judas and the Black Messiah, we see exactly what the FBI and the federal government was doing to our leaders.
And you know what's funny too? You see more and more stuff being exposed now from way back in the day. So it's like you have no choice but to look at it. And if you turn the eye on it, you're just a dumbass.
It's like you can call it like, hey, that's another thing. Feel me? I can't really blame him, but I gotta speak the truth into him. Feel me? Like you gotta once you get to a certain level of knowledge, you gotta start speaking the truth into people. When it comes to like, I can't call you my brother, you my sister for not knowing a dumbass. Feel me? It just won't sit right with me because it won't come off to them as like he's trying to speak the truth to me. Feel me? It won't come off to them like that. It's gonna come off to them as like, oh, this guy's just a elitist. He think he know it all. He think he got this everything figured out. And if I say anything to him, I'm gonna be wrong. Nah, it's just like you've been looking at this life, you've been looking at this game the wrong way. Like if you're looking at stuff like Judas and the Black Messiah, it's like, all right, in this country, they've taken a strong effort in trying to dismantle black leadership. This country has been born and has been created and has thrived on the flourishment of slaves, of black people. Don't act like things is all PC now because you are a black individual and you can do this, that, and third. You can get on the front of the bus and you can do this is stuff that should have been done. You started the race with a handicap while everybody else had a head start and you're just getting to the starting line. That is what's the issue right now. And they already have done laps. So you have to understand where we are as a people in this race, that's why NIP, the marathon continues. Feel me? It's like we can't lose focus. I like the whole thing like this past summer, this past year, Black Lives Movement and everything like that, Black Lives Matter movement and everything like that. Even though I do have some personal gripes to the movement itself because it is being funded by organizations like Code Blue, who are then putting money from the Black Lives Matter movement directly into the Democratic Party's election process, which then gains more people to do it. I'm actually running on a 1 minute and 55 second timer on this live, so it looks like we're going to actually wrap it up soon, but we can go back and forth about this issue later on. This has been a great first episode. We touched on a bunch of good topics, feel me? I'm going to be here for you. You know I love and respect you, bro. You've been great. I got your music. It's been playing in the background. I'm about to add it to my Spotify playlist. Anything you want to add on and say just to conclude this? Let's see how it goes.
Thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate it. And I'm welcome to join anytime you want me to talk about anything. Shit.
Got you, bro. Hey, this is the Comment Section Podcast. It's no script. Ain't no script here. Feel me?
Facts.
Ain't no edits.
Everything
This is everything you can catch in the comment section and in the mind. Feel me? Like
add comments, anything.
Hey, it's straight like that. Feel me? I had people stop in and check in. Feel me? I really didn't do too much advertising. I just want to get this one thing out of the way because, hey, I have a lot of schoolwork I gotta do. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I got straight.
Bro, you gotta get
like,
those speeches done.
But I'm gonna try to do this at least 2 times a week. If I get to a point where I can do it 3 times a week, that would be great. But I love this respect and support, and I love that you came on and you just like, hey, you answered the calls. Like, hey, I need somebody to get on for the first EP. This is probably put out there for other people, anybody, content creators. Hey, if you got a business, small business, big business, whatever you doing, hey, if you sell drugs, don't bring it up on here because I ain't going to be Vlad TV for somebody filming you. They're not going to catch you from this interview. But hey, everything positive, everything light. It's all love. This is for the empowerment and the movement for the people. This is Ansem signing off. Dave Boogie. We out of here. Peace.
All right, bro. Be safe.